those angst-ridden teenagers, they don't get much better than this lot. It was a cult teen drama series, but became a guilty weekend treat for hungover adults all over the country. Here's why.
It's so easy to be in love with you, girl.
Mark, Casey, Mark, this is a big surprise.
Never before have I found us.
Oh, little Joe, you're so cute.
Please me, baby.
Now, these two clearly are in the early stages of some screwball mating ritual.
Okay, you got it all wrong, lady.
Tease me. Good things happen.
The copy's is going to read Good Cop, Gay Cop, the Dougie Witter story. We are going to be so proud of you. I am not gay!
I think I'm in love with you.
Look at that snog. Joining us now is the lovable Pacey, all grown up and getting rave reviews for his role in his latest Hollywood blockbuster called Bobby. It's all about Bobby Kennedy, when we welcome the lovely Joshua Jackson, who's been, you'll be embarrassed to hear this, but you've been charming all the girls throughout the building this morning. They all
back in the maze back there.
Yes, I'm just nipping back to ask Joshua something else. So this big new movie, Bobby, opens here on Friday, tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow morning.
So, Bobby Kennedy, to a certain generation, isn't really known. And so this is a very interesting look back at the day in...
The day of his assassination,
yeah.
And it's also, the movie itself actually isn't, it's not a biography of Robert Kennedy. It's told through the eyes of, I think, 24 other characters on this fateful day when they joined history, completely without meaning to. They just happened to be at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles on the day of his election.
It's I went to see it a couple of days ago, and it is a fabulous film and a great way to tell a very important part.
I think so too, because
history.
it is a piece of history, but the way Emilio Estevez, who's our director and writer and one of our actors, the way he chose to tell it makes it history without preaching. It's not a history lesson. I actually think it's quite an entertaining film. And then the end of it, for someone who wasn't alive at the time, even for me,
you were born
those
10
words...
years later, weren't you?
Yeah, almost exactly 10 years later, June of '78. I mean, his speech at the end is heartbreaking. It's just crushing at the end to hear the man in his own words, because of course he's represented only through documentary footage. There's no actor playing Bobby Kennedy. He plays himself.
Yeah, that's a fantastic twist, isn't it? To cut
Yeah,
all those
I think
things
Emilio
in.
made a very wise choice.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot riding on this film for him, isn't there? Because he's invested every
Everything.
part of
Yeah,
himself,
certainly.
not only financially,
But even much more importantly, I mean, emotionally, he couldn't be more attached to this film. And I think that's the cast on the movie is ludicrous. It's Anthony Hopkins, it's Bill Macy, it's Sharon Stone, it's Demi Moore, it's Harry Belafonte, Helen Hunt, Martin Sheen, and on and on and on and on. Yeah, I mean, we have a Sir, and we have a couple Academy Awards, some nominations, and then a bunch of kids.
What a poster.
Yeah, it's a pretty good poster. I actually sent it home to my mother. It's the first time in my professional life, because the American poster is just a picture of Bobby, and then all of the names, and because I happen to have a J last name, I'm right in the middle. I think it actually goes Hopkins, Hunt, and then Jackson, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
make your mum very proud.
Yeah,
And you
that
shot
went
it
up on the wall.
in the Ambassador Hotel itself, as it was being
Some of it, yeah.
demolished.
And they were tearing it. This at one point, the Ambassador Hotel was the iconic Hollywood hotel, and then after this assassination, I think it started its slow decline. And this is the moment, at least in North America, it's the moment in history that the Ambassador is remembered for. And it had just sat as a relic. It's been closed for 15 years.
Really?
And then when we finally get around to making the movie, they happen to be tearing it down literally around us. I mean, you see the pretty part that we've sort of rebuilt, and if you were to just look right over here, there would be dump trucks hauling off everything. I mean, they were knocking it down around
So
us.
the kitchen where he was actually assassinated on his way out from a
We
big
had to rebuild
conference. That was rebuilt. It didn't exist.
He was assassinated. He had just won the California primary, which was, people think, about to launch him into being nominated as the Democrat, and possibly then on to being elected president. And of course, none of that ever happened.
We've got a clip. I mean, you're Wade, you're the campaign manager, and my God, working hard. You know, sort of pulling everything together with you and your team. Let's have a look.
30% of the precincts in South Dakota have McCarthy and Senator Kennedy in a dead heat. How long has it been since you've slept?
How long has it been since you've slept? I'm telling you, man, there better be some cabinet positions in this for us.
I got dibs on Secretary of State.
Hey, you can have it. I want something with a little lower profile. Like Secretary of Transportation.
Sounds a little boring, but if that's what you want. You can ask the man yourself.
Okay, I will.
He specifically asked to meet you. He wants to thank you for all your help on the campaign.
You're kidding, right?
He sent word with the advance team. He asked to meet you.
And when he meets him, what's terrific is that you see the stardust.
Yeah.
When he comes out of the room, he has his little pin, his Kennedy pin, and the look on the face is, oh my God, I finally got to meet him.
I've just met... Well, because I think these men, all of the characters in this film, existed in a time before the ironic generation. These were true believers. They really believed that Bobby Kennedy, and JFK before him, but that Bobby Kennedy represented the last, probably best hope to change America, and they thought he really would. He was this iconic force that represented the hopes and dreams of a whole generation.
That's right. Well, when John Kennedy was killed, and I was about 5, and I do remember the news footage and seeing it when I was that small, and I know that he was somehow some shining light for the world, not just the generation or the US. He was there. And so when he was killed, all of that spotlight shifted onto Bobby, and Bobby became this wonderful hope for the future, which is when he was killed was
and
just
then
disaster.
snuffed out as well. And he also, one of the things that I came to learn over the course of, Emilio did a huge amount of research, and then he thankfully passed that on to all of the actors. And one of the things that I came to learn, because I only knew Bobby through history books and through the things that I would have been taught in school, but you saw him over the course of this campaign really change deeply as a man, and you heard the things that he thought were important in '67 when he started the campaign sort of faded away, and then his whole message became about social equality and social justice, ending the war in Vietnam, and challenging America to become the country that it has always wanted to be.
Well,
He's really inspiring.
A nugget of thinking that is as poignant today as it was in 1968.
Well, that's okay. So for me, obviously, I wasn't alive, and I only know this story through history. But for me, as I guess a part of the younger audience watching this movie for the first time, and of course giving me the bias of being in the film, but watching the movie for the first time, the speeches, particularly the last 2 speeches that he has at the end of the film, could be said word for word, verbatim, today, and you wouldn't have to change anything, and they would be just as powerful and poignant. In fact, I wish there was somebody who would say these things. I wish that we had a leader on this side of the Atlantic, on that side of the Atlantic, anywhere on the planet, who was saying things both as beautiful, but also as challenging. He really challenged people to be better than they were.
We had Churchill, obviously, another generation behind that, who
other
did exactly the
generations,
same
yes,
thing.
precisely.
You
Who
said
didn't
you had
tell us
a
the things that we wanted to hear, who challenged us to be better than we were.
And give us a sense of community as well. I think, right, we'll all pull together.
Which is why you say this had a huge effect on your mother.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that when we went to see the premiere of the film, and it was all glitz and glamour, and all these people were there, and I thought that would be fun for my mom to take her and see all of this. We got to the end of the film, and she was weeping, which is never a good thing to do to your mom. You never want to make mom cry. And we got to the end, and after a couple of minutes, she got herself back together, and the first thing she said to me, she said, I didn't realize how much I lost that day.
Yeah.
It was the day that her innocence died. That is collectively everybody's innocence died. Because there was so much, like you said, all the hopes and dreams were pinned first on JFK, and then they sloughed off to his brother, and then in a second, gone.
It's a fantastic film, and thank you for coming to talk to us, Josh. I know you're only here for a flying visit.
I know.
You're going to spend an evening with Patrick Stewart tonight.
I am. I'm off to the theatre tonight. I'm
Your
very
mate.
excited. Yes.
Enjoy.
Yeah,
well,
enjoy
it's
that
an
very much.
amazing cast and a great film, and that moment you come out thinking, oh my goodness me.
That's what we're going to see this weekend, shall we? Yeah, okay.
Excellent.
Lovely. Thank you very
Thank you
much
so
indeed.
much. It was a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Joshua.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So, now then, if you've got a bit of January, we've got the perfect pick-me-up with the chance to win £10,000 plus a holiday to the Maldives. Here's Steve Wilson to make all your dreams come true.